15 Brazil highlights. The best things to do in Brazil. Traveling to Brazil was a dream come true. The sprawling beaches, beautiful weather, and Brazil's party culture far exceeded my expectations. To be honest, though, planning our trip was a little daunting. Brazil is a huge country. In fact, it's bigger than Australia, a fact I didn't know until I arrived. Traveling to a country of this size takes serious planning, as there are literally hundreds of amazing things to do in Brazil. Luckily for us, we got to spend over 2 months traveling Brazil. That gave us time to explore, travel without a strict itinerary, and as such, find some amazing hidden gems. Most visitors, possibly like yourself, won't have 2 months. This means you'll need to plan most of your trip before you arrive. To make that task a little easier, we want to share with you the best things we did in Brazil. So we've come up with our 15 Brazil highlights. This list includes the best things to see and do in Brazil, as well as the cities and towns you simply must visit on your trip. 1. Fall in love with Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is Brazil's most famous city and overall the highlight of my Brazil trip. This huge, bustling city is filled with Brazil's history, food, and top attractions. If you come to Rio de Janeiro, it's important you get out and enjoy the Brazilian culture. I spent a total of 3 weeks in Rio, and I visited the city on 3 separate occasions. I welcomed the New Year on Copacabana Beach, spent a week partying during Carnival, and enjoyed some time exploring on some of the best tours in Rio. I even got out of the hustle and bustle on day trips, too. Of course, Carnival and New Year's were amazing, and I highly recommend them. However, exploring the city on any normal day is also a must. Some of the best things to do in Rio de Janeiro include head up Sugarloaf Mountain. Taking the cable car up Sugarloaf Mountain was my favorite activity we did in Rio de Janeiro. We headed up just before sunset to catch amazing views of the city and the surrounding mountains. Honestly, this is a must-do in Brazil. You can buy these fast pass tickets in advance, which will give you priority access to both cable cars. Visiting Christ the Redeemer. This is one of the most popular things to do in Brazil. Honestly, to me, it wasn't that amazing and a little bit of a tourist trap. However, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, so it's worth a visit. We actually hiked up instead of taking a bus and really enjoyed the walk. We saw monkeys along the way and save ourselves some money too. You can also join this highly rated tour that combines a visit to Christ the Redeemer with Sugarloaf Mountain, that includes all transportation and passes by other key landmarks including Palacio Guanabara and Largo de Botacario. Explore Copacabana Beach. There isn't a beach in the world with the atmosphere of Copacabana Beach. It really has to be seen to be believed. Be sure to give yourself an entire day here and head down for coconuts, cocktails, or beers on the beach. Of course, there are plenty of other amazing beaches in Rio de Janeiro to check out, so make sure you explore. Without a doubt, Rio de Janeiro lives up to its reputation as one of the greatest cities in South America and a highlight of traveling in Brazil. 2. Visit the magnificent Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls is without a doubt the most amazing waterfall I have ever seen. This massive, and I mean massive, waterfall is actually made up of 275 waterfalls that stretch over 2.7 kilometers, 1.7 miles. Those 275 waterfalls are then surrounded by a lush, green jungle. Iguazu Falls is located in the very south of Brazil and sits on the border with Argentina. The falls stretch across both Brazil and Argentina, and as such, you can explore Iguazu Falls from both countries. Brazil's side of Iguazu Falls is best for great landscape views. However, from the Argentinian side of Iguazu Falls, you can get closer to the falls and stare into what's called the Devil's Throat. 3. Explore Chapada Diamantina National Park, Chapada. Diamantina National Park is a little-known national park 6 hours by bus east of the city of Salvador, Brazil. The park is filled with amazing places to visit, including several caves, some with turquoise pools to swim in, breathtaking hikes, and lots of waterfalls. On a visit to Chapada Diamantina National Park, there are several popular tours you can join. These include visits to Morro do Pai Inácio, Pratinha, Gruta Lapadoche, Poco Azul, and Cachoeira da Fumaca, a 360-meter 181-foot waterfall. The tour we booked visited all of these places over 3 separate day trips and cost us around $160 USD. My favorite place we visited was Morro do Pai Inácio, as the views were so breathtaking. Alternatively, this $69 USD Caves full-day tour is one of the most popular tour routes to go on and is less of a time commitment. It visits 6 different spots, and one of them is Morro do Pai Inácio. 4. Experience Carnival in Brazil. Brazil is home to the largest party in the world, Carnival. Held every year towards the end of February, Carnival in Brazil is the craziest party you can imagine x 10. You can celebrate Carnival all over Brazil, and over the 6 days, the entire country and thousands of tourists celebrate. I personally spent pre-Carnival. Yes, Carnival is celebrated many weekends before the actual Carnival starts, in Salvador. Then I headed to Rio de Janeiro for the actual week of Carnival craziness. It's hard to say which I preferred, as each place was unique in its own way. But overall, you can't beat Rio. For those who don't know, Carnival is celebrated with what Brazilians call bloco parties and parades. These are completely free and located on the streets of the cities. In Rio, for example, there can be 30 bloco parties all over the city in one day, with some starting as early as 7 a.m. 5. Beach hopping on Ilha Grande. After partying a little too hard in Rio, we were in need of some rest and relaxation. So we did what many Brazilians do and headed to the island of Ilha Grande near Rio de Janeiro. Ilha Grande is truly an island paradise surrounded by pristine beaches and crystal clear waters. From Rio, it takes around 3 hours to reach the island first, via bus and then ferry. Once on the island, you can join lots of different tours, enjoy short or long hikes, and also party if you're up for it. We stayed 6 nights on Ilha Grande and loved it. The best tour we did was this boat tour that departs from Angra dos Reis and explores the north side of the Ilha Grande. On the tour, we visited so many stunning beaches and enjoyed lunch at a local restaurant. The tour was just what we needed. 6. Two Brothers Hike in Rio. The Two Brothers Hike, also known as Morro dos Irmãos, is a short hike that leads to a stunning viewpoint overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro, and more specifically, Copacabana Beach. From here you can see so much of the city, and the views are a must-see in Rio. From the start of the trail, it takes around 40 minutes to reach the Two Brothers viewpoint. Along the way, you'll be able to enjoy other views, such as the view of Rocinha Favela, the second largest favela in the world. 7. Race around the sand dunes in Natal, northeastern Brazil, is well off the beaten path for most visitors. But for those who do venture this far, you'll be able to enjoy a very unique, beautiful culture, and also much cheaper prices. This is because Brazil's northeast is a much poorer region in comparison to the south, but the culture, good vibes, and fun are very much alive. 8. Wander the vibrant streets of Salvador. We enjoyed pre-carnival celebrations in Salvador, but even without that, there were tons of awesome things to do. Pelourinho is the old part of the city and the area we suggest staying in. Here you can wander stunning colonial streets, enjoy lots of live performances, visit museums, and enjoy dinner and drinks out. 9. Beaches, beaches, and more beaches in Florianopolis. The beaches here are some of the best in Brazil, and with over 40 of them around, you can find some as vibrant or as secluded as you want. Lagoa da Conceição is the most popular area to stay, and although it is a short bus ride from the beach, it's a small town with everything you need for a great holiday. Alternatively, in Florianopolis is Barra da Lagoa, where I wish I had stayed. This is one of the best beaches around the city, and it's also within walking distance to other great, more secluded beaches. 10. Experience Churrascaria, Brazilian BBQ. Churrascaria is a traditional Brazilian BBQ, and while in Brazil, you simply must try it. I myself was lucky enough to enjoy churrascaria many times at hostels with other Brazilian guests, and even at a Brazilian family's house. That was nice enough to invite us. 11. Enjoy the rich culture in Olinda. Olinda is another city in northeast Brazil. The old town of Olinda is well known as one of the cutest colonial regions in Latin America. Well-preserved colonial architecture lines the cobblestone streets and small cafes, ice cream shops, and viewpoints of the ocean, giving visitors plenty to do. 12. Visit Manaus in the Amazon jungle. You can't come to Brazil without visiting the Amazon jungle, and the best place to do that is in Manaus. This small city is the capital of the state of Amazonas, and it's the perfect base to explore the jungle. The town sits on the Rio Negro River, which connects with the Amazon River only 10 minutes downstream. For the location's sake, Manaus is perfect. 13. Relax in Pipa. For those wanting to escape the cities or busy tourist towns, Pipa is a perfect choice. This tiny hippie town is home to only a few bumpy streets and is only a stone's throw away from the beach. 14. Get wild in the Pantanal. The Pantanal in Brazil is the world's largest wetlands. This very unique place to visit is often overshadowed by the Amazon, but make no mistake, it is a highlight in Brazil. 15. Wander Vila Madalena in São Paulo. Last, but certainly not least, is to visit and stay in Vila Madalena in São Paulo, Brazil. This bustling neighborhood in Brazil's largest city is filled with trendy bars, nightclubs, cafes, restaurants, and an array of street art. So you like our video, please subscribe our channel for further update.